Hello, I'm Greg Crow, and you're listening to Episode 3 of Audio Off the Shelf, the podcast where I play a handful of tracks from my physical collection. Everything I play on this show comes off the vinyl shelves in my living room, off the CD shelves in my basement, or out of that box of cassettes I keep on the shelf in the storage room. That first track that you heard was Public Witness Program by Fugazi. After many patient years of being a devoted fan, I finally got my chance to see Fugazi when they paid a visit to Winnipeg in June of 2001. It was one of the best shows I have ever been to. Before the show, I went out for a bite to eat at the Mondragon. As we're waiting in line to order our food, my friend turned to me and said, "Hey, don't freak out, but they're all in here. They're in the corner. Don't look." What am I going to do? I turned around and I looked, and there they were. Fugazi, in the same room as me. Now, guitarist and vocalist Ian MacKaye got up from his seat and made his way toward the dessert counter. He would have to walk right in front of me to do so, and what was I going to do? I had to say something. I don't really remember what I said. I mean, what do you really say to someone whose music has had such a profound impact on you? It literally changed my life. Now, I don't really remember what I said, but the response from Ian was something to the effect of, "I'm just going to get a cookie here." Yeah, poor guy. He must get stammering fans like myself approaching him in whatever city he finds himself in day after day, night after night. Now, Fugazi has been on infinite hiatus since 2002, and as awkward as it was, I was glad I had my little Ian MacKaye moment right there in line at the Mondragon. Public Witness Program is the second track off of Fugazi's third album, In on the Kill Taker, released exactly 8 years and 1 day prior to that memorable night in Winnipeg. Thanks for coming to my town, folks. Thank you. Now, no one spoke with more excitement about that record than my good friend Shane. I used to love listening to the guy talk about music. His veins would literally pop out when talking about In on the Kill Taker. Now, Shane had a band of his own in the early 90s that went by the name of Nothing Days. And I myself played in a hardcore band back in those days called Chop Logic. Chop Logic played a total of 3 whole gigs, 2 of which we shared the stage with Nothing Days. So this next tune is entitled Now I Know The, by Nothing Days, from their 1993 Pepper Tree Records cassette, Honk If You've Seen This Alien Too. Before I play it, I'd like to read from the liner notes, which is an endearing little handwritten effort scribed onto a carefully folded copy of their artwork. The DIY aesthetic is beautiful here. It reads, "Recorded and produced at Pepper Tree Records between July 9th and 20th, 1993, on a 4-track recorder and a mixing board and some other equipment we paid a lot of fucking money to rent. So if the tape sucks, too bad."
The way we talk
That was Now I Know The by Nothing Days. From their 1993 Pepper Tree Records release, Honk If You've Seen This Alien Too. Not long ago, on January 17th, the jazz world lost a very important figure in Sammy Nestico. Sammy Nestico was a composer who wrote mostly for the Count Basie Orchestra, but if you've ever been your typical band kid like I was, and you played in a jazz band in your high school, you played his music more than likely. I'm a music educator now, and I can tell you that it wasn't just a high school experience for me. Also played his music in university, and I've shared his music with many of my students over the past 20-some years. He lived a long life, passed away at the age of 96, but his music will certainly live on. I learned a lot from him. I'm trying to become a composer myself, and in a lot of ways, his scores that remain have served as my textbooks in my new education. I'd like to play something that I'm familiar with from my university days. This is A Warm Breeze by Sammy Nestico. Warm Breeze by Sammy Nestico. I got this from a CD, a compilation CD entitled Night Flight, which includes selections from the album Night Flight and a few selections from another album called Dark Orchid. It's from Seabreeze Jazz. And notable musicians on that recording include trombonist Bill Watrous and a legendary drummer Louis Belson. Thanks for all the music, Sammy. Thanks for the inspiration. Thanks for the education. Thanks for teaching me, too. Next, I'd like to play something from my small but treasured collection of Northern Soul records. This is a Peanut Records release entitled Have Mercy Baby by Buddy Lamp. I want you to listen to this tune as one giant crescendo. The 12-bar blues form in this tune just keeps growing and growing and growing with each successive chorus, growing not only in its volume but also in its orchestration. It just sounds like more and more studio musicians keep showing up at the session, pull out their horns, and they add to the build. And the drummer seems to feed off this as the drive and intensity stays on a steady incline throughout. It seems like the only way they can possibly get out of it all is just to simply fade out the recording as the band plays off into the night. I hope you enjoy. This is Have Mercy Baby by Buddy Lamp.
I know I've done you wrong, baby. I want to ask you one more time. Have mercy, mercy, baby. I know I've done you wrong. Have mercy, mercy, baby. I know I've done you wrong. And my heart is full of sorrow. Take me back where I belong. I've been a good for nothing. I've lied and cheated too. I've been a good for nothing, babe. I've lied and cheated too. But I reap it all, my darling, and I don't know what to do. So have mercy, mercy, baby. Please don't slam that door. Mercy, 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 baby. Please don't slam that door. 'Cause I know if you refuse me, I'll never be the same no more. Have mercy, mercy, baby. I know I've done you wrong. Have mercy, mercy, baby.
Have Mercy Baby by Buddy Lamp. That's Peanut Records, 1961 recording, backed with I'm Coming Home. Hey, I've received some really nice feedback about the podcast, and if you have any thoughts or questions or comments or suggestions for the show, ideas about maybe a theme I could do, requests, anything of the sort, you can email any or all of that to audioofftheshelf@gmail.com. Also, be sure to follow or tag the podcast on Twitter at AOTS204 or on Instagram at AudioOffTheShelf. To end the show, I'd like to change gears by playing something by 90s pop sensation the Cardigans. Never Recover is a great little tune from their 1996 smash hit album First Band on the Moon. With this tune, I love how the simplicity and complexity are all mixed into the same song. The harmony in this tune is really unlike most pop music. There's only a handful of chords, but not the ones you would expect. There's C major, C minor, then there's D7 flat 9, D minor, and then finally the rhythm section halting G augmented 7. Couple that with not one but two killer melodies with gorgeous contours and a chorus that relies on a few 7/8 bars for its transition, and you got quite a package here. Don't you miss the 90s? Don't you? Bring back 90s pop music. Well, some of it, I suppose. Like this gem by the Cardigans.
I'm going to try to give it to you guys.
Audio Off the Shelf was recorded and produced in a little corner of my basement here in Winnipeg. The Audio Off the Shelf logo was created by Benjamin Crow based on the original iconic artwork of Donna Parsons. Thank you so much for listening.
Audio Off the Shelf.
Let's go to the bathroom. I'll show you my hair.